gonna be honest with you, Far Cry 5 really isn't that good. Like, at all. I mean, it's a copy of a copy, and it does almost nothing to change up the same recycled formula even a little bit. It's the perfect example of everything wrong with Western game design, packaged up into one game, with pointless single-player microtransactions, bloated open-world garbage that you're forced to complete in order to progress the story, and enough objective markers to give you a migraine. But still, I kinda really like it. It's a game that on paper I should hate, and if I'd never played it, I probably would hate it. But as I'm almost embarrassed to admit, I actually kinda love it. By the way, if you're expecting some sort of well thought out, well written video essay, or some hour-long retrospective on how Far Cry 5 is blah 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 blah, this is definitely not the video you should be watching. In fact, just go search up something else and watch it instead. In fact, I doubt I'll even be able to talk for even 5 minutes about this game. Not like the game deserves a longer video than that though. Anyways, the Far Cry series is like video game fast food. Well, at least since Far Cry 3 came out and Ubisoft just decided to re-release it like 4 more times. You play a Far Cry game for the same reason you get McDonald's, because it's consistent. And the Far Cry games sure are consistent. And just like McDonald's, don't expect a 5-star product from Far Cry 5. There are pretty much only 2 discernibly different aspects of Far Cry 5 from the other games, with the first being the story. It's pretty decent, I guess. You play as an unnamed rookie cop with less personality than a rock, and your objective is to take down a crazy doomsday cult that's basically annexed a whole county in Montana. They are armed to the teeth and they're jacked up on a drug called Bliss, which is obviously a great combo. You've got to take down the main baddies of the 3 separate regions of the map in order to gain access to the main bad guy, Joseph Seed, who looks very familiar, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. A little side note, this game is extremely unrealistic, just due to the fact that the ATF would have raided them the second they were aware of their existence. Anyways, when you complete missions and different objectives, you get whatever these things are, freedom points or something. Once you get enough of these points, you're forced into a story sequence where the cult kidnaps you. Now, this is an example of something that has definitely never been mentioned on YouTube that I am pioneering onto the platform, called ludonarrative dissonance, which means this. I don't really care about this from a narrative perspective because it's a Far Cry game, but instead because at this point, I have more confirmed kills than the goddamn Doomslayer. I am quite literally this cult's personal Grim Reaper. The chances that they would be able to just grab me aren't very high. Pretty much the only other thing that makes this game stand out from the crowd is the map. Far Cry 5 simultaneously has one of the best and worst open worlds in any game I've ever played. On one hand, you have the aforementioned open world garbage filler, but you've also got moments like this, where you're watching a sunrise in a field, and then in less than 10 seconds it randomly escalates to this. The game has so many of these organic, unscripted moments where stuff like this just happens, although I'm not going to give Ubisoft all the credit because it's mostly just the natural beauty of Montana. But I guess Ubisoft realized it pretty well, so maybe they deserve a little bit of credit. Also, like, the side missions aren't that bad. I mean, most of them are either clearing outposts, which, I mean, you know what that's like. At least the combat's fun. Or boring filler, like this escort mission. You've also got a co-op mode, which I have never played. But like, why would I ever need to play co-op when I got companions like this? We got Boomer, who's just a silly little guy. He's just so great, like, look at him. And also Cheeseburger, the grizzly bear, who is hands down the best companion in any game ever. Also, did I mention that you unlock Cheeseburger from a mission named A Right to Bear Arms? Like, there is nothing more American than that. Or at least I think. How would I know? I'm not American. The last thing I want to talk about is the arcade mode, which is basically just Roblox or Fortnite creative. But Far Cry. I'm not gonna give Ubisoft any more credit for this because it's just player-made content. Like, you didn't do anything we did. Obviously, since it's player-made, you can have some really great maps and experiences, and other ones that maybe shouldn't have been made. I played this one that was just Vietnam. The thing is though, none of these things really make me like the game. There are much better examples of all the different elements that I talked about. The thing that keeps me coming back to this game is the sandbox. If all you want to do is random goofy shit, this is seriously one of the best games to do it in. There are a bunch of fun, satisfying weapons to use, one of which being a shovel launcher that you can send cultists flying with, which never gets old. If you want to just be an evil psychopath for no reason, you can.
I can't believe I'm alive.
You can accidentally blow up your own companions, or skydive off the side of a mountain. Just make sure you deploy your parachute in time. Sometimes all a game needs is to be a fun sandbox, and that's why I love Far Cry 5. Now, should you play this game? I don't know, or care. Anyways.